Alright, I think we are live, guys, so, yeah, we'll obviously get stuck into the stream. Go ahead and play some AFL Evo. If you guys have any questions in the chat, feel free to put them in the chat. But, yeah, without further ado, we'll just go ahead and get stuck into the stream and get stuck into the game. There has been some things that have happened over, the last probably few hours, I believe it all got announced. So we'll probably get stuck into that at some point. Just want to get a couple of people into the onto the stream first, and then we get stuck into all that good stuff. But yeah, just sharing it all out to all the other people, sharing it to Twitter, Facebook, that good stuff. Hi Bella, hope things are doing well. Are you guys getting any audio? Let me know. Because I have plugged in a newer capture card into this. All my audio levels are saying it's working, but there's nothing coming in from audio. I have to go into my setting. Alright, here we go. And also for the people in the chat, I am fully aware of Braden's Sia or Sire and Josh Thomas. With obviously Josh Thomas retiring and Braden Sia being delisted. I don't believe the club has made a comment on whether if we're gonna rookie Sia or not, but obviously if they haven't come in and said that, it's probably better to assume that we're not going after them than saying we're going after them. But yeah, that's basically where we are at with that stuff. Cheers, swing that back in. What actually? No, I can't do it if I'm streaming, damn. Alright, I might just quickly unstream and stream and do this at a different resolution. Alright, we should be back to normal now. I believe we are. Also, as well, let me know in the chat if the quality is so up to you guys' standards too. I've got a feeling, even though audio is coming through my end. Okay, no audio is coming through. Okay, that's good. But there's no actual. There's audio, but there's actual. I wonder. Yeah, I'm not too sure with this. We should be alright. Because I mean, audio is coming through for you guys. It's just not coming through my. That's all. I'm not able to hear any of the gameplay audio. This wind does have a little bit on it, so I think being out there is about right. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Hold my ball. Oh, back it back. Very different without doing it with the gameplay audio. Oh, come on, get there. Yes, Grundy. Over the top. Oh, come on. Come on. Yes. Go, Kruger. Yeah, there's absolutely no audio coming through. Alright, I'll just have to go back to the other capture card then. Alright, I'll have to pause this. Shouldn't take long at all. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Oh. I have also made because this capture card we have right here is actually 4K. But I've just put it down to 1080p because it's been overheating. So I'm just gonna put this capture card to 1080p for tonight and see how we go with all that. And then hopefully, if we don't have any issues, we just might have to we just might have to go with 1080p from now on. Oh yeah, there you go. Audio straight back straight away. I swear I've got the worst luck when it comes to capture cards. Yeah, like it. You there, Kev?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Yeah, because I heard something, so I thought I was like, yeah, that has to be something else. Definitely not me. Yeah, so obviously I sent you the message when it happened, but yeah, you have you got your head around with the latest news?
Yeah, I have. Look, it is sad, but at the same time, like, you can sort of accept and agree to it.
I mean, like I agree that it was the best move. I just hate the fact that like it has to happen to someone that's like a player that we obviously like, and there's no like, and I guess in a sense, whenever we do, I guess, and maybe I need to speak on maybe on my behalf and only my behalf. But like when I ever quote unquote like don't like a player, it's not like I don't like them personally, if that makes any sense. They're just not playing
Yeah, it's
at
like
a
you don't
at a
like the way they
standard.
go about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's like that they're just not playing at a high standard where I expected them to be, or something along those lines. But then in saying that too, um, that's also where you can find your favorite players, and you can also have favorite players that aren't always the best players too. So um, as a kid, whenever I wanted to pick a player, that I'm like, no, that's my player, that's my favorite player, because every kid does that. Like I always wanted to pick the ones that like never got their full full credit. So I feel like
Yeah.
someone like a Tarkin Lockyer for me was massive. Um, you know, I mean, there's a lot of people that like Didac, but I think Didac, in terms of the way the AFL World sees him and where Collingwood sees him, are two different standards. Where
Yeah.
I think the AFL standards are like, oh yeah, he's a good forward sort of thing. Where as Collingwood supporters, we know not only was he a fantastic forward, but he's also like a pretty good midfielder in his day too. He's kind of
Oh
like
yeah.
it's ironic because I'm actually playing Port Adelaide right now, but he kind of reminds me of like the current day. Like Didac was like Robbie Grape, pretty much. Like he was that sort of type where he could go in the midfield, but he really had a lot of like forward. He had a lot of talent going forward. Because I believe in his draft year, he was actually like he was like both a mid and forward. But
Oh
but
yeah.
he was actually picked up as a midfielder. So and then because he just worked so well as a forward, we just kept him there, and then we just, instead of going for another forward, we then put him there, and then we just left yeah, we basically just left Dymac as a forward, and then we went in and got another good mid. So kind of works. Sometimes it can work out like that. There was a few people that were saying like, oh, how are we going to go without him, because um, it's going to be difficult with, because we don't have any like genuine like small forwards that crumb and kick goals.
Oh
And
yeah.
I can understand that perspective. But then again, like for one, we do have Dib coming in the draft too. Dib is the replacement for JT. I feel, especially when he builds into his body, he'll then play a little bit of midfield time. Um,
Oh, for sure.
yeah. Do I think Collingwood will have an interesting year in the season? Yeah, in terms of interesting, I'm sure you mean like will we have a good season? I think we're gonna have a great season next year, because a lot of people are doubting us at the moment because we finished 17th. I mean, I'm of the opinion that this season is like there's a saying that goes, oh yeah, there's basically a saying that goes uh this is the exception to the rule and not the rule itself, meaning that yes, this has happened, but this is a rare occurrence. Um, so I think having that in place, a lot of people seem to forget we've still got the majority of our core. Like yes, we've got obviously Trelaw, Flip. and Stevenson out. But we've kind of got all those guys back in, basically. Maybe not like... I mean, you can make an argument that we haven't maybe replaced, say, someone like the Stevenson as like a like for like. But we definitely have, Kruger is, I mean, I'm not expecting a Stevenson-like season from Kruger as a forward, but like, he's going to be similar to a Cox, where as long as he's building that presence, and he's also going to be really good at building pressure too. I can just really see him doing really well. How well he goes, it's going to be interesting to see, but yeah, there's like a lot of guys where we've like kind of replaced them now, so I feel even someone like some like kids coming through, like you got Bianco, who I feel is probably the next Sidebottom coming through. In fact, you could even say that Sidebottom could become that next, forward, that guy that plays in the forward line and, can have some goals and things like that. So, I definitely wouldn't rule it out. Because, like, he's... Yeah, I mean, just in terms of the forward group going forward, yeah, that is probably a concern in terms of that we don't have any like genuine players like that. But you can, I mean, because we've also got a pre-season ahead of us too. Guys are going to be hungry for a spot anyway, so that there are going to be guys that are going to be looking at that going, shit, for me to get into the squad, if I can develop this part of my game, I can get a game.
Oh, fuck.
Because I can tell you now that players just want to play. They don't want to, be a part of drama or anything like that. They just want to be on a footy field and they just want to play. That's all they want. And I think that's basically, like, yeah, you just have to put it to something as simple as that. And I do feel that we are going to get something in the lines of that when it comes to like, I mean, yeah, when it does come to, I guess, picking a side, there's going to be someone that's going to look at, all the holes in the team and going to go, okay, I'm going to fill that spot. And they'll do that because they just want to play footy. Like, as much as we... And yes, I don't think it's probably the best to, put guys like Rantel, Dacos, even for last year, how we put Flip as, on those half-forward spots and basically told them to kind of be a bit of both, but then, like kind of be two places at once when that's just not possible. But, yeah, I think we're going to be a lot more sort of... Yeah, and I mean as well, I think going forward too, our list probably isn't fully, like, ready to go, so we still have a lot of guys that are going to take the club forward that are just not ready yet. But in saying that, I think we've got enough senior players to come in, and I mean, as long as we don't get super injured, I can see us making finals again. Like, I'd love to know what our odds are to make finals, because I think the tab at the moment has us in the bottom 4. So, if the tab want to put up odds for top 8, I might chuck some money on that, to be honest. But make sure to gamble responsibly, too. Just so that I add that in. But yeah, like, do you have, like, the same... Like, do you have, like, any thoughts on that, Kev?
Oh, look, I don't know if we'll make finals or not. That's just personal opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I think we should be a chance. Certainly,
Like, I definitely,
think we can make it, but
yeah, I mean, I definitely feel that we'll definitely make finals, or like we'll definitely be in on for it. And I don't know, like I just feel like we're just too, in terms of 22 players on the list, we're just too, how do I put it? We're too like we've just got a really good balance of like youth and experience. Because as long as we're gonna have guys like Pendlebury in there, Sidebottom in there, you know, Jared Ruffhead's about 30, so he's got his experience. How you can't ignore that experience.
no, you can't.
And I've always been of the belief that experience always beats youth, like every day of the week. So,
Oh, 100%.
as long as you have, but then again, it's like, you know, too much of anything can be a bad thing. So you got to have that balance between, you know, youth and obviously, yeah, of like youth and experience. I mean, for example, you know, you can have obviously Geelong. Geelong's probably notorious for, you know, going, you know, the experience side of things. And we see that obviously it's all great and all when they like play footy, but you know, when they also get gassed out, it's very clear to see that, you know, they're also very prone to not always stay in the games, and then it's like sometimes hard for them to get back in because, you know, they can only play so many games at such a high intensity for so long because of their age.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but then, and then you have, trying to think of someone on the other side, maybe someone like a Gold Coast Suns, where they've just got kids that are just way too young. And there's not a lot of players on that list where they're not going to go anywhere because they're still learning. And they don't have enough experience or enough guys to take them forward, basically.
Oh, fuck, I shouldn't need to.
But no, like I'm really even though like I've made a few comments on like things like Twitter and stuff, and I mean, mind you, like I understand I'm gonna cop a bit of shit now because you know the
Oh,
club's
fuck
just
you, so am I.
because you know the club's just finished 17th. You know, people can easily look at this as, oh, I'm just salty and things like that, and I get that, but it's really gonna be really ironic in like say 12 months time, and because that's the thing, like I mean, this isn't an expectation, but this is just something I really, really want to get as soon as possible. Because I feel like finals experience is extremely important. So, I think as a club, at the very minimum, and that's the thing, clubs are going to have this all the time, regardless if it's internally or, yeah, regardless if this is internal or not, like, clubs will always think this. You know, they'll always think that, hey, if we give ourselves a chance to say be in the top four, you know, we will then give ourselves a pretty good shot to win a premiership. And I feel like that's where we're kind of. I think that's where we should aim. Obviously, at the start, when you know, when we're at 0 games, 0-0 in terms of record. I think that's just where it should be at. Because if you give yourself top 4, you then guarantee yourself at the very least 2 games of finals. And just getting the experience in general is going to push the group forward even more. And if you're going to have guys like Ollie Henry, Trey Rusco, Bo McCreary, Caleb Poulter, all those guys, even Reef. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if I see Reef play round one, to be honest. Because again, I've said it a few times now that I think out of all those 6 players, I think Reef was probably the best player out of all of them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Reef plays round one. So just to get all those kids, just to get them finals experiences, regardless if you win or lose, because I think that's probably the thing that people sometimes you see people where they think, oh well, it's better to, like, it's really weird to me how like some people will always have that thing of, oh, if you finish in finals and you get absolutely smacked in the first round, or you go out straight sets, that's a bad thing. And I can look at it and go, okay, I can understand it from a certain perspective, but would you rather go out straight sets in the finals, or would you rather not make the finals at all? Like,
you rather go out straight sets.
Yeah, you'd rather go straight sets because for a team that's developing and that's not there yet, the main, I don't want to say result, but the main part that's the most rewarding is the fact that you're putting those guys in those scenarios. They're actually experiencing finals footy firsthand, rather than like just seeing it on TV or seeing it from the sidelines.
Oh fuck yeah!
So yeah, I always find that weird because I know it's always like a defensive, what's it called? Like a defensive reaction, because it's like, oh, you're upset because or you're trying to get a one up on another team because, well, for whatever reason. But like, when you look at that in theory, it's really weird to me how it's like, oh, we went out straight sets. What a waste of the season. And it's like, really? Because if you're gonna make finals in a home and away season, if you make finals, you obviously win more games than you lose, because you don't get into the finals with a percentage of less than 50% in terms of wins. So you win more games than you lose, so that's already a positive, especially when it comes to like a young list. And yeah, like, it's just like, I just don't understand the mentality behind that. But yeah, if you want to talk about JT or see Kev in terms of, at least with like JT, if you want to talk about like your favourite memories.
Oh, I respect JT big time.
Yeah, but like, if you've got anything you want to share about him, or just something that, in terms of like what he means to you or anything like that, even CR.
He sucks me as a Collingwood supporter. I don't give a fuck what everyone else says about that goal in the 2019 prelim. Like, Giants can kiss my ass on that, or their fans included. But, but yeah, like, he excites me to play. He gives it his all. He's very underrated, I think. But I have him every day of the week ahead, so he's lived up to his potential. He's been through a lot.
Yeah,
I think
that's also the thing that we need to probably mention the most too, is that him and, because when he had that thing with him and Keith, that was a fair bit to take on. And yeah, like, it's just he obviously had a great career, I think, personally. Because, like, you can't just, like, walk into a side an AFL side and play. How many games did he play in? About 120?
Yeah, 121.
121, there we go. I genuinely just guessed that. But yeah, so 121 games. Do we know how many goals he kicked?
101 goals?
101. So yeah, I think in terms of his career, some of the setbacks he's had, yeah, I think all in all, in terms of everything that he's gone through, I think he's done pretty well for himself. Like a lot of players wouldn't have gone through some of the adversities that he's actually probably gone through. Um, um, hey Tom, yeah, all right, here we go straight into it. Yeah, so with I mean, obviously, I've made it very clear about my opinions on, at least on Sia. You know, I think it's actually going to be interesting because the club never said anything about getting him through like the rookie draft. So I'm gonna assume they're not going to. But in saying that, um, he, he might be an option, but he'd be one of the last options, I'd imagine. Especially the fact that they haven't said anything about that. You just got to assume that they're just not going to look for him, unless if there's literally no other options. Because I know we've made it clear that Sia has made comment in terms of now how he basically wants to stay. So we'll just see. We'll just have to see how it all goes with that. Hi Devon. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Um, but yeah, I think it sounds like we're just probably just gonna move on from him entirely. So it does sort of suck because like he had so much potential. Like he was literally like a
But to
Josh
be
Kennedy.
honest, he wasn't using it well. I think that's the issue I tend to
Yeah,
have with him on that.
yeah. I do feel like whenever the pressure was on, you always see him like give a hack kick out. Like when he was like around halfback, you don't see him trying to lace out a pass. You see him handling the ball with one hand, and then he's just throwing it onto the boot. So um, yeah. So like that's the thing. Like in the end, I was happy for it to go either way. Um, yeah, there you go. For some reason, there's this Carlton dude on Twitter that's just been following every tweet that I've been doing and just laughing at every comment I've been making. Might have to give him a bit of a reply back to give you my thoughts. But no, in saying that, yeah, I mean, obviously when it comes to the club was obviously, um,
The club's always going to come first.
yeah, well, I mean, the club's obviously made the decision, so I wasn't going to be surprised either way because clearly there's an issue when it comes to his, um, you know, his attitude, which we have obviously spoken about a lot, on this channel at least. Um, so I think, oh, oh, there he is. But yeah, so with So with the club, it was just obviously best that they probably just think like a new start with a new player is probably best. So if that's what they think is the best thing for the club, then I'm more than happy to back the club in for that. Just kind of it just sucks because like if you've seen him play, and especially if you saw him in 2018, you saw so much potential in him. Like you literally
Oh,
saw
you
a
did.
Josh Kennedy in him. Um, and even so, when Josh Kennedy was at Hawthorn, because that's where he started his career. Um, he then got traded on to Sydney, and I don't know. I don't know how he was when he was at Hawthorn. Whether if he was that sort of seer type where his attitude wasn't great, or he needed that kick up the arse. But I do generally feel that he is a very good player. It's just that he lets himself down a lot with his like attitude and um, I guess yeah, just like mainly like his attitude and um, like and I guess his maybe willingness to maybe not adapt when things don't go his way. I guess. I mean, that's maybe the only other thing I can
I think
probably
that's
put
what it
towards.
could be as well.
Yeah, because it's like I mean, we can always throw. Uh, I mean, at the end of the day, it's always speculation to know like who's done what and things like that. But um, I think it's probably best to just yeah. I think the everything's just happened. Or like the whole journey's just gone way too far now to I guess to list him. Like personally, I would have pursued it a bit more, but obviously I'm not the club, and there are there are obviously coaches and all that stuff that are way more um talented and have a lot more credits in the bank than what I do. When it comes to those things, so I'm sure the whole club would have spoken to everybody involved that needed to be spoken to, and I'm sure the decision was that he just wasn't worth fixing again. And that's probably what it came down to is that if we fix this guy, is he going to break down again? So yes, he didn't like he crumbled under Buckley's system, so that's a cross. If Fly comes in and he crumbles again, then what happens? So if he stays on for say another 2-3 years and crumbles, he'll then he'll be what, a 25, 26 year old. We then definitely won't get anything for him because he wouldn't have probably done anything at AFL level since probably what, 2018. So it was probably just I think just a fresh start just for the club, just with him in general was probably what the club wanted. So I think that's how they ultimately went to that decision. Um,
Oh, for sure, like it. That's what it boils down to. No one's bigger than the club, no us members, no one. Fans should fucking remember that.
I mean, you can have some exceptions to the rule because sometimes you do need to get around certain players and things like that. Um, so I mean, for example, and I don't know if this is going to be controversial or not, but someone like a DeGoey who potentially could be top 10 in the Brownlow next year. That's someone where you kind of have to cater your coaching skills around him rather than at him, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, because he's not that he's probably got a lot of runs on the board, but he's got the talent to push the club forward. So if it comes to a 50-50, instead of going in the direction of no, this guy needs to fit in with us, I think it's going to be worth your time and effort for you to fit in with him, if that makes any sense, because he's got that talent. But not everybody's going to have that talent. So it is a little bit of a slippery slope in that aspect. Oh. Yeah, and then I guess with like Thomas, we've spoken about Thomas a little bit here. Yeah, just probably the complete opposite of Sear, of like you just wanted him to do well. Didn't really put a foot wrong attitude wise. You know, always tried to toe the line when he could. So I think personally, when it comes to someone like Thomas, you're always going to appreciate someone like that. So, and you know, obviously he had a bit of a down year considering what he had in or down a couple of years considering what he had in 2018. But I think we also got to remember too, like 2018, he had a fantastic year. Like he had like one of the best years a small forward could probably have. So to have that as a standard, and in a sense mentally have that as like an average for him was always going to be an issue, because he was never going to probably pop up to those like standards.
Oh yeah.
But he still, I mean, he still was very serviceable, sure. I mean, I think if you go back to, say, 5 years ago, if you had someone like a JT that was, say, 25, you know, you'd still definitely be taking him over anyone else. So I think in terms of having JT play, yeah, I think personally, like, you know, he was definitely a good player for us. So, do we know how many more players we need to get rid of, or?
I have no idea. What? That's what? 4?
5, I think.
5?
Yeah, 5. Because you've got Greenwood, Bain, and Toehill, and then obviously Sear and Thomas. That's 5.
And Lynch.
And Lynch, 6. There you go. And then we brought in who? We brought in Lipinski. So we brought in Lipinski and Kruger. We'll get Dacos and Diab, that's 4. And then that leaves us 2 more. They could also lead to some, like, say, rookie some draft picks that we can promote some rookies as well too. Actually, we might leave maybe someone like Jack on the. Actually, that's the thing. Would you promote Jack Enovan up to the senior list? Because I believe you can have him as a rookie for 3 years. So would you rather keep? Would you rather keep him there, or would you rather
I imagine, or
no, for Jack Inovan?
you could probably elevate him if you really wanted to.
My only thing is that because he's been there for 1 year, he's got another 2 years worth of a contract. Actually, didn't he re-sign? He signed a 1 year deal, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was that with his rookie contract?
No idea.
Or it would have had to have been, because for him to get up to the senior list, you have to get drafted. I'm pretty sure.
It's 2 years.
No, there was a new rule with it because of the COVID stuff. They bumped it up to 3, I think. I think they made that rule last year. I could be wrong though. Because it was, yeah, I think you're right in terms of it was originally 2, but then I think they bumped it up to 3 because of COVID and stuff. Or it was definitely for some reason. Because I'm sure with COVID screwing up, you know, the development and stuff, I think they put in the rule to where players could actually get an extra year on their contract.
Yeah. I've done this before.
But yeah, if there's anyone in the chat that want to ask any questions, I'm happy to answer them. So yeah, don't be afraid to fire away any questions you may have. Yeah, otherwise we'll just chill on the stream and just keep playing some AFL Evolution too.
Oh. Right. Fucking cowardly. Oh, don't worry, you fucking high. Oh, fuck.
Get him, yes. Thank God he didn't get a kick off. No, I screwed that kick up. What do you reckon about Charlie Constable or Oscar Brown's good depth? I feel like their midfield's already like pretty set though. I feel because I've been hearing a lot about Charlie, so he could potentially be an option. I think Oscar's also played some decent footy too. I'm not 100% sure. It just makes it really difficult because if you bring those guys in, are they better than anyone we currently have? Because you've got, you know, Finlay McRae's probably our next best mid to come out of the VFL. Then, you know, you're looking at guys like Bianco. You're probably looking at even Reef McInnes when he develops his body. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. And then, you know, we haven't talked about either Dacos's, either Brown's, because I think both Cal and Tyler will be very good players under Fly, because I think they'll start to make they'll start to make Cal a bit more of an inside mid and play that centre role. You know what? I actually reckon Cal could be that next Thomas type player. Actually, like he probably doesn't have the goal sense as much as probably what Thomas would have, but I feel like they're probably not far off. And I guess Brown could always train for that. He could always like practice his goal kicking. Oh, there you go. So we'll have one list spot available after we get Dacos and Dib.
I ain't watching anything
Well, when it comes to if there's a last list spot, and I'm sure you guys are obviously on Twitter, so you guys may know who I'm talking about. But there's a report going on, and I think it's a little bit of opinion with a little bit of information his way. After we get Dacos and Dib, we're going after a key defender in the draft. So whether we get that in the national draft, I think we have to have at least 3 picks. I think that's an actual rule. So we have to get 3 picks. 3 picks, and and then we go into the preseason draft with pick 2. The only thing is that if you're gonna play Brander as a key back, I just don't see him being a key back. I feel like he's just a tad too small for that. And he said multiple times that his best position is a key forward. And as a key forward, and Kev, you can correct me on this if you want, because this might be a bit of a hot take. I feel like because they're 195 centimeters, I believe. I feel like you can be a 195 centimeter key forward, but you can't be a 195 centimeter key back. There are exceptions to the rule. Like I think Laverty for Essendon has become a player that plays roughly full back. Unless if he is playing that third tall, and I'm not aware of it, but from what I know, they had Laverty and they had James Stewart play as key backs for them, and they're actually genuine key backs. So whether they rotate that, who's the other dude for Essendon? Ridley. I don't know how tall Ridley is either. I think Stewart's around 197. So 197's fine. You can play defense on someone that's over 2 meters if you're 197. That gets done often enough to where you can give that a tick of approval. But yeah, I don't see Brand as a full-on like key back. Like he doesn't go to your best defender. Not that he probably ever will be our number 1 key defender if he is. At best he might be number 2 because of you would imagine at some point. That either Moore or Roughead may go down next season. You just gotta hope that we have enough coverage for him.
100%.
But then in saying that, even if we go into the season I don't know if it's the case for the preseason draft, but I know for the national draft you have to draft 3 players. So I don't know what the repercussions would be if you don't, or if you just. I'm sure they'll just say, "Hey, just pick your kid and just be done with it." But yeah, the rule is you have to draft at least 3 kids or 3 players that are in that draft.
Alright guys, I'm gonna have some dinner, and then after that I'll be back.
Alright, all good. Yeah, that's the other one, Tom. That's what, because with Sear and Thomas going, a lot of people are sort of concerned. I guess, if that's the right word. I personally believe that he will get a contract. It's just a matter of how long and how much. Because I think the fact that he plays in the VFL, he's had games where he's had, I believe he had a game or two where he got 30 touches. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did. And then other games he had like somewhere between like the mid to high 20s. So he can obviously find the footy. So I don't think we should probably be like delisting him, because I think he can become good. And I think we also got to take into consideration too that COVID definitely had an effect on a lot of players, especially someone like Rantel, where he basically came in when COVID just started. So his development in terms of getting games into him, I mean, I don't even know how many games we got into the VFL, but I think we had something like 10 maybe. And I don't think there was a VFL season last year at all. So he's practically, in terms of official games, he's played 10 games in 2 years when it comes to the VFL, and he's probably played about maybe 4 games of AFL, so it'd be really hard for him to find a spot in the side just purely because he just hasn't been exposed to enough AFL yet. So I think the club will obviously know that, and they'll probably take that into consideration. I think we will keep him in the end. But then as well, I also wouldn't be surprised either, because Chug re-signed on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal. They say they definitely says similar things for him. So yeah, it'd be a watch the space at this point, I'd feel. So they could go down the path of delisting Rantel, but I think at this point, from what we know, it would probably be more surprising than not than if he... It's probably more surprising if he gets delisted at this point than if he doesn't. Because we can always just give him a 1-year deal and just see how he goes. No, is he? He actually doesn't seem that bad of a bloke. I mean, minus being a Carlton supporter, he's not half bad. Yes, there we go. Here we go. Yeah, is that stream happening right now, Graz? There actually was some Carlton supporters on Twitter, I think, like today and yesterday. They were going off thinking that they were going to make finals. Like, I mean, I knew Blues fans were delusional to some extent, but I didn't know they were delusional to that extent. Like, they're definitely not going to be making finals next year, I can guarantee you that. Alright, all good. Well, at least when he shaves his head, he'll have the equivalent amount of percentages to the amount of hair on top of his head of the chances of Carlton making finals. 0. Oh, here we go. Magpies keen to. Yeah, so just some more reports that we're keen to keep Cox. So it looks like we're going to follow through with that. Because I think with only Grundy and Cameron, it's going to make it very difficult to. If we have any injuries in that department, it's going to be hard to find a decent ruckman. So I think having Cox just as a bit of security and reassurance is that we've got at least somebody there for the job, I think. I mean, is there any other players we could potentially pick up with Pick 2 in the preseason draft? Because there's got to be like at least half a dozen players that would pick themselves in the draft, I'd imagine. There we go, Sidey. Kick it. There we go. Go, come on, Market Elliott, yes. On AJ, yes, good. What a passage of play right there. Probably should have got the kick ones I went through straight through the middle. That's another one coming up. Oh, thank God I got that out. Yes, there we go. It'd be good to see what we do in the preseason, in the preseason draft. But yeah, I can imagine that. I'm sure we'll pick up someone decent. But yeah, we'll just have to see how we do. Because you think, especially even if we get Brando, he'll want to play as a key forward. So if he can learn to play as a defender, but again, like we've got plenty of guys that can be that third tool. So personally, I'd rather just go off a genuine key defender. But that's just me personally. At 13 for Kruger. He's kicked at 13. I think we can get him another goal. Not with that. We're not going to. Oh, Kruger, yes! He's going to go for number 14. Does he kick it? Oh, you bet he does. Yeah, they definitely were into Fremantle, but they would have only been into... Fremantle would have been into Cox. But they would have only done it if, what's his name? Lob left Fremantle. So, because Lob stayed, they then weren't interested in Cox. There we go, it's a good goal. Alright, so we're going to obviously move on to the next game. Probably do a little bit of changing of players if there's any injuries or suspensions. Oh, damn, Darcy Moore's not playing. That's not good. Okay, Greenwood needs to stop being Stephen. Seriously. So, this is where, what do we do? I reckon we're going to put Aiden Begg there. Aiden Begg's going to play first game for the club. That seems better. That seems better. Oh, there we go. Maynard's back. Yeah, I'm just gonna take we put IQ at half back. Okay. I don't think there's any. Maybe Ollie. I think. See, do we have a spot for Ollie? Alright, let's move on to the next game. And yeah, Aiden Begg's gonna play his first game for the club. Oh, especially after a win. Yeah, it's pretty damn good. Yeah, no, especially when you get those like really, really good wins and then the siren goes and oh man, I miss that shit so much. It's not even funny. Especially yeah, just games when you know it's been title game or you know that, you know, given a couple more minutes it could go either way. Once that siren hits, you just like just that emotion of just like holy shit, it's over, we've won. It's so yeah. That feeling is so damn good. Let's get stuck into this. That's actually a good question. I'll actually put that I'll put the question to the chat. What in terms of Collingwood games this year, and I mean, Grace, you can probably even say this for you know because you support Fremantle. what was your favourite game, whether it was watching, experiencing, or yeah, like what was the game that you appreciated the most this year? To me, if I had to have my answer, I'd probably say the Richmond game. I just wasn't expecting a win, to be honest, and then just in the way that we actually won, it was just awesome. So, because I mean, you could have like the Melbourne game, you could have like, I mean, the Carlton game was pretty good. West Coast game. But I guess because I actually went to the Richmond game, that to me was probably the best game of the year in my eyes. Even though I went to a few of them, but yeah, I think playing against Richmond was the best one, and I can guarantee
to get them now, when we did get them, that was good.
Oh, have you been talking this whole time? You've only just come on now.
I only just came on.
Oh, okay. I was just about to say, because you've been talking like the last like 10 minutes. You've only like just come on. Because it just, when you came on, it sounded like you were like halfway through a sentence. So, but yeah, anyway. But yeah, so I'll put the question to you though. So what was your favourite game this year?
The Richmond West Coast game, Carlton round 2. It's always good to beat them cunts. I think. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I said before the Richmond game because I guess as well too, like just going into it.
The Melbourne game in particular, and Adelaide, I'd like to.
Yeah, I mean the only thing like with me in the Richmond game was that it was one of the first games I had like an actual like I went into the game going, all right, well for me to like not get upset and frustrated because I felt like I can't remember who we played the week before, but I remember just being so frustrated, and I'm like, and I remember thinking to myself like if I'm just gonna be this frustrated, I'm not gonna enjoy going with footy or just experiencing my team play. So I thought, hang on, I'm gonna set some expectations here, and I'm gonna sort of like set some like not like setting up some goals, but like sort of just go, okay, well.
Oh, we played St Kilda, because I was there for that game.
Yeah, because I mean I was there too, but I just remember going there and just thinking to myself like. Like I just remember coming home like so bitter and just angry and just like I don't know if I should say like I just wasn't myself, but like it just wasn't a fun. Like I just how do I put it? Like you know how when you can just go to games and then you just go home and like you're just in the most shittiest mood.
Oh,
like
fuck
just
yeah.
everything just irritates you, like literally everything. That was what happened to me against St Kilda, and I think it dragged on for probably that whole entire week too. Like I'm probably not gonna lie, like it wouldn't surprise me if I did. So like yeah, it got so bad to where I'm like, all right, I gotta set some expectations, and I gotta set some like sort of like standards of like an actual like bottom four sort of like standard type sort of scenarios. So I was thinking to myself, yeah.
I think I'd pick Collingwood for that game.
I haven't done tips in years. I might do that next year though for like content.
I think I did. I think from memory because
I know
Richmond played poorly. I think they didn't do. Hang on, who did fucking get back into it? They lost back to St Kilda. My internet's fucking low.
Yeah, no, it definitely rings a bell because because especially with St Kilda, they just seem such a. Especially, I can't remember exactly how that game played, but I remember just like because it's one of those things where like I can I can hold a loss well if we got outplayed, but I hate games where you lose and it's like you lose by mistakes and not by
Well, realistically, the second quarter. Alright, so 3 goes 1 to 1 go 2. So realistically, if we took our chances, it would have been close. In the second quarter, we kicked 3 behinds and then kicked 1 goal forward. So we did not hit the scoreboard at all in that second quarter. So we're 30 points down.
And
And
then what
then
happened in
we
the second
kicked
half?
2 goals. Yeah, the second half was 2 goals 2 compared to 6-3. That's the ball game.
Yeah.
In the last quarter, we kicked 5-6. And they only kicked 2 behinds. So realistically,
Yeah, but at that point the game was dead, wasn't it?
yeah, the 3-quarter time was dead.
Yeah.
Or 42 points. But realistically, if we kicked accurate, we definitely would have been closer, or we would have won. It's that second and third quarter, the second and third quarter, or I say the first quarter in particular, we should have kicked a few out the chances that we had.
Yeah, it was definitely a game I remember because again, like I literally had to tell myself the next week, all right, I gotta have expectations going into this game because if I'm just gonna assume that, because it's like obviously as a supporter, like I'm always gonna want the best for the club and I'm always gonna want the team to win, regardless on odds or whatever. But it was also just a thing of like I also need to have like I need to give myself like a line of like, okay, Collingwood, as long as Collingwood doesn't lose by such and such points, then I'll be happy. And I was saying to myself, okay, bottom four side looks like we'll probably give a fair bit of effort. All right, as long as we don't lose by, I think I said anywhere between 4 to 5 goals. So I thought if we go past the 30-point mark, I feel like then that's at least something you can at least give a little bit of like criticism to. Because then if you keep under the 30 points, or even say under the 4 goals, you can at least say, well, yeah, we were in it for the majority of the game. And I think as a young team, that's what you need to have is you need to be competitive as long as possible. So so going to the Richmond game, I was thinking as long as we don't get beaten by 30 plus, then I'll be all right. And I think it was I think it was 3/4 time we played like when we played Richmond, we were down by about 4 goals, I think. So I was kind of thinking, So I was kind of thinking to myself, but also as well, for like to be down by that much, I was very like hopeful, and I was very like, because even like in my head, I'm like, okay, expect this person to drop that mark, or expect that person to miss that kick. You know, I was very conservative with my thoughts and expectations, or like predictions when it comes to like the team, and it was all in terms of how I was doing it with the new mindset I had. I was actually feeling a lot better because I was understanding where the team was. And yeah, and then when I was
Go on, I'll let you finish.
Yeah, and then
I was going to say, like, it was like if I was there, I would have stayed at 3/4 time, and if they kick the first couple goals, then you think, yeah, nah, that's game over for us.
Yeah.
But you always think 20 points, it's not that bad. You can still win it. If it was 32 points and you think, okay, the last quarter is crucial. If we don't kick the first couple goals, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
But I'll let you finish on what you're going to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
as
So it
well.
was something like, I think it was 24 points. I think it was 4 goals. Or if it wasn't, it was like we needed 4 goals to be ahead. So I was thinking, like, as long as we don't lose this quarter, then I thought, okay, then we can put in a good effort. And then I think as well, as long as you can put in a good effort in a fourth quarter, I feel like that's always good signs too, because then you know they aren't like mentally just like quitting as well too.
Yeah.
So I was saying, yeah, as long as it wasn't um yeah, so as long as we could keep all that intact, I thought not that I was thinking that we could like win, but it was just that expectations of like, okay, I can actually go home and hold myself to something. Like I can actually like say to myself, okay, well I was, you know, I can, these are the pros I can actually walk away with and be happy with.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then obviously we have those flurry of goals. So I mean, you can obviously imagine how I was going, being like, "Geez, we're doing all right here." And then yeah, next thing you know it, I think Adams kicked a goal for us to be, I think, behind by about 2 points. And then we got that quick clearance, and then De Goey had the set shot to put us in front. And then that was when I'm like, "Holy shit, we're actually in front now." And then I can't remember who kicked the next goal. But the one who kicked the goal after that to put us, like basically Richmond needed. I think it put us. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it
Well,
put us.
DeGoey put us in front, right? So Richmond led by 3 with the Adams goal. DeGoey kicked it, so we will lead by 3. Murphy took a mark 20 metres out and kicked it.
Yeah.
That was the DeGoey centering kick. Then after that, my Grundy took the mark, top of the goal square, put us 15 points in front. Lynch obviously did it to make it 9 points. Josh Thomas sealed it with 15 points. The margin, and Henry missed it, but by then the game was on because there was no way they were going to win anyway.
Yeah.
But I think the first quarter, I thought 4 straight to 7. So that was, 17 points. And you're thinking, okay, not a bad quarter from us. If we could tidy up a little bit, we're certainly a chance. And then we kicked, 3-2 compared to 3-2. So it's an even second quarter. The third one, they kicked 3-1, we kicked 2-4. And the last quarter, we kicked 7-2.
Yeah, like it was such.
7-2 to 1-2. That was unreal.
It was so good. Because again, like I was coming from the expectations of like, as long as we win the quarter, that's all I'm asking for. And then yeah, we end up kicking like 7 in the last quarter, and even just like the ride home was just awesome too. Like the fact that we were just, because that's also a really good experience to see as well too. When you're like down and you're riding the team home, and you're kicking like all these goals to finish, like oh, so good. Like it's moments like that that just make you want to go back to the footy again.
In hindsight, I think I've got to be critical in a way. Like, yeah, it's all doom and gloom after that win. But I think you got to have the expectations, like, we can't be behind. If you're going to be behind, be 1 or 2 goals down instead of being 20 points or 18 points down. Because realistically, if Richmond kick 2 goals...
Yeah, well, I mean, sometimes as well, you are going to also get, what's it called? You are going to also get...
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, and you are going to come up against good teams as well too, so we can't discredit, you know, opposition teams as well too, so,
But I guess it's, for me, it's how, Richmond are a good team because they've been up there for a while. But I think with that as well, like we know how poor they are this season. We should not, if we allow Richmond to win that game, then it will be, well, Collingwood just Collingwood just can't handle the beat.
Kruger's kicked 7. It was change direction in that, but alright. Yeah, but no, like that game, I think for me, like watching it was fantastic. Like, and then yeah, it was just ironic for me that was the game I had low expectations for, and that was the one we won.
I think I did pick us because
I mean, when I used to do tipping, I would never.
Shit.
Yeah.
And St Kilda. That's what pissed me off the most. Like that game, we should not allow the same. And yeah, they beat Richmond. Yeah, like all credit to them. The problem that I have with St Kilda, and this is just being honest, they're not that good of a team when it comes to defending. If you allow them to play
I feel like they're very hot and cold, and they're very much like a confidence side. Like the whole team is like based on, how well they're doing from a confidence point of view. So, if
I'll let you know where I was going with that too.
Yeah, I think the St Kilda have always been like that. I mean, there was a year where they were towards the bottom half of the ladder, and I think they had there was a stat they had, and it was like something like the whole entire team had like their set shot percentage was something like, I don't even be guessing, but it was pretty bad. It was like 25-30%. So if you're not going to be kicking straight and kicking goals, I mean, you shouldn't be expecting to win too many games. But I think that was probably a confidence thing. I think they had a semi-new side with some new recruits and stuff. So yeah, there was a few players that had to gel on that side. Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, I rate St Kilda. I like them as a team. I think they can be really good. The game against Adelaide really was a letdown. 6 goals in front, you choke up a lead like that, come out against Richmond and play like that, come out against us, realistically for about the second or third quarter, because with us, the game's not over. For some reason, you cannot go into that game like what Brisbane did to us the second time we played them. They absolutely smacked us, and they put the game beyond doubt. If you keep a game 30-40 points in front, we're going to come back and win every time. That's how we go about things. And as much as I like it when we do win, when we come from behind, I think it has been us in the ass during the games, and we leave our run too late. So I think with that, we need to come out earlier. Doesn't matter how good the opposition is, you got to make sure that you start well and you continue it on. Last year, we were a good first quarter team, but we could not play 4 quarters. That was our issue. This year, all of a sudden, I think our best quarters was the last quarters in the last 7 or 8 games. We couldn't do it against Carlton the second time, and that pissed me off as well, because the way that we play. And the Guernseys, people are going to say, oh, there's no Guernsey clash. Oh, you can tell by the shorts. But my problem is, okay, if we have to wear clash Guernsey against Essendon, Carlton and Richmond, Essendon, and even the Giants, because, we put them in that category, their Guernsey's a lot more darker. They've got a bit of white and they've got a bit of charcoal black in them. Richmond, Essendon are black with yellow and a red sash. With us, we're black and white. Whenever you come against, and Carlton, obviously, they're darker blue. When you come against teams that got the same colour as you and more darker, that's where the clash is an issue. So what the AFL need to do is they need to make teams like Richmond, even if you have, okay, we'll wear black slash and mainly a yellow Guernsey, like they were against Essendon, like they were against Port Adelaide when it comes to an away games at the Adelaide Oval, they can do it for us. It's not that hard. Even when Essendon and Richmond play Carlton, it does clash. I'm telling you, if people are gonna say, oh, you can't tell the difference. No, I'm telling you, if you're playing out in the field, you want to make sure that you can tell between the team's Guernseys. The shorts will only matter if they're wearing a lighter strip. If they're wearing like a different strip compared to the home team, it's a much better game. You're not having to hold on to the ball while you're getting tackled trying to handball it off, and the umpire gives you plenty of time to get rid of it. And that Anzac Day game, that was a shocking clash. That was literally a clash. And yet the AFL had time to tell Essendon, no, piss off, you wear your clash Guernsey, and use that as a fucking Anzac Day Guernsey. That was terrible. For me, I couldn't tell, and this is how bad it was, I don't know about you, Sean, but I could not tell if it was mainly our fault that we played like this, or did the Guernsey clashes were an issue?
This is about Anzac Day you're talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, it could have, because, I'm not, when it comes to the jumpers, I'll be straight up honest, I'm not too knowledgeable when it comes to those things, but I would imagine that a clash jumper is there so that it doesn't confuse anyone, regardless of its players, coaches, even people watching the game. You know who's
even
who.
the fans.
Yeah, so that's what I'm imagining it would do. So if you are going into a game day, if you can't tell the difference between the jumpers, well then obviously a clash jumper should be used. It should just be common sense, but
because soccer does it. A team with their home, if a team's got a home Guernsey, a home strip, and the goalkeeper for the other team's got a black top, that causes a clash, so therefore you have to change your strip. Same with the other team, like they go by obviously the other team, but they also go by the goalkeeper as well, because that can cause an issue.
yeah.
Yet the AFL don't have balls enough to make these clubs change the Guernseys. I don't care if we wore a training Guernsey with just 1 or 2 black stripes. That does not faze me at all.
Yeah.
Because we're always going to be Collingwood, we're always going to be black and white. I think because Eddie's passion was the black and white stripes. That's how obsessive he was. I love my black and white striped Guernseys, but there are times where we need to be smart enough, and this is why I'm glad that he's not here for it, is that we needed to change our Guernseys. Even if we go back to our old Guernseys that were early 2000s, and wear that like for the team against Geelong, at least that way it would be better off. You can tell the difference, and if that causes a clash, the way that the Geelong Guernsey is, then why can't clubs change? And same thing North Melbourne Geelong. They had clash issues, and yet they had to wear different Guernseys as an away team. Geelong used to wear their white shorts, and North Melbourne used to wear their dark blue and white stripes with the blue shorts. And when it was a North Melbourne home game, Geelong wore their clash Guernsey, like the darker blue with blue shorts, and North Melbourne wore white and blue stripes with the white shorts. So surely it's not that hard to realise, okay, what we need to change is, that's...
You'd like to think so, but obviously it seems like it's being a bit more harder to solve than originally thought, but I mean, yeah, like, I mean, in terms of like the colours itself, like I personally, as long as it's got black and white colours on it, and I mean, hell, even put a magpie on there for all I care, but as long as you can tell, as long as players know who's who on the footy field, then that's really all I care about, because I'm not necessarily, I mean, I always love a good jumper design, do not get me wrong, but I don't think I would be the type of person to be having that as a priority personally, unless if I'm going to the footy and it's like extremely obvious, if that makes any sense. So I can get the concern, and it's like valid and everything, but yeah, it's just I don't really have much opinion on it, because that's not things I focus on so much. It's more the footy itself, but yeah. I do also want to touch on the comment that Tom made as well too, with Brisbane being overrated. I think that's just got more to do. I don't necessarily think they're overrated. They've got a lot of very solid players in their lineup. It's kind of like with how we criticise Carlton in terms of like they've got a very good spine, but Carlton don't have any support, where Brisbane have that support, but some of their guys to support the spine are very young and very raw.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Or not raw, but like, yeah, they're very young players about to develop into good players. So I think that's the dilemma that I guess Brisbane are having right now. So
I will touch on Tom's as well comment. I know that we got a clash Guernsey, Tom, but we just need to add more than one. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Where our clash Guernsey, obviously like against Richmond, Essendon, Carlton, alright, it makes sense. Because it's at least it's white and black with white, mainly with darker blue, which I don't care about. But when we play against Geelong, we need to wear a different Guernsey, because our home Guernsey, doesn't matter if it's our home or their home game, all of a sudden it causes a clash. Even in the 2019 prelim, qualifying final, sorry, that was a clash. You can tell when they're up close, but when they were further away, that's the issue. So I did wanted to touch on Tom's comment for that.
Nah, it's okay. Need a rover. I don't think who would rove. Hoskin Elliott. Maybe put Hoskin Elliott.
Oh, by the
Probably.
way, too, I forgot to tell you guys this. I did 2 videos today. Oh, and I dropped down the sub. Okay. One about the Max Lynch, and also I did the obviously about JT and that.
I mean, Tommy, when it comes to jumpers, you can always just put like a magpie on one and you can put like a cat on another. You could probably do something along those lines. So I'm pretty sure there's an easy fix to it, but yeah, if there are players coming out and complaining or supporters or you know getting confused on it, then it's obviously a problem. Um, what the Pincy is? It's alright.
Should I make it as a premiere? You think?
In terms of like recording a video.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, if it's something that you've got a lot of information on, which it seems like you do, and you're
The 8
passionate.
minutes part. It's about Braden Sy and Josh Thomas. Or should I just put it out there?
Nah, make a separate video on it.
Because I did that in the one video.
Yeah.
About Braden Sy and Josh Thomas. And because I spoke about it for 8 minutes and something, should I try and do a premiere? So I can do one.
Yeah. I would say. Well, I guess it depends. Like, if you want to make the video, then that's. Or you can go for it because you've obviously got the knowledge in terms of knowing what to say and what to do. Um. So yeah, I can go for it.
Alright, I'll do about 11 o'clock. So I'm gonna have to be up anyway tomorrow.
Also, just want to shout out to the chat real quick the amount of support that's been happening, especially over the last few days, but even over the last couple of weeks has been awesome. Yeah, my videos are getting a lot more views than what they've been getting of recent times. So just want to thank everybody for the support. Just want to make sure that the gratitude is out there because yeah, I've been slowly experiencing a growth in the channel. So yeah, just want to shout out to everybody that have supported so far, and yeah, let's just hope this all continues because yeah, I'm hoping to get some recordings out soon. Just trying to get comfortable with a few things at the moment and trying to find some time because having a schedule right now is a bit sort of jarring at the moment because you know being in lockdown and I mean I've had a little bit of a schedule, but with things slowly going back now, it's in a really weird way. It's really hard to get back into a routine because I'm just so used to not having one. So hopefully with all that done soon, I should be getting some more videos out, and I probably might start doing some premieres to be honest. And yeah, to see how we go with that. But no, it's especially getting some premiers out seem like the way to go. So if I have an opinion on something in a video, people can have their live thoughts on it.
Hello there, whoever's watching my live stream on Twitch. So yeah, the one to talk about Max Lynch from the trade period, and I gave the rating out of 10. I did it for 6 minutes and 37 seconds this morning. I might just put that straight out there. I think it'll be easier. Alright. So let that load up a bit. I don't know why I dropped down in subs.
It was only one you said, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh, I could have probably. If it's only just one, I'd just leave it. Focus on new subs coming to the channel and the people that are already here.
Yeah, look, Tom, I definitely do agree with that. Like when John wore blue shorts, something wore white. And I do agree, it should be Collingwood wear all black and John wear all white. But we should bring out an alternative jumper for that situation. Yeah, 100%. I think we'll keep our black and white striped Guernseys like away for the most away teams, but make teams like Carlton, Richmond, Essendon change their Guernseys, and even the Giants in that situation, because they don't, make them wear their clash Guernseys. For the Geelong game in particular, we wear all black and they can wear all white with white shorts, because that's obviously is going to be the way that should go about it. Personal opinion. So people are gonna come at me and say, oh, you know, you should get your eyes tested, blah blah blah, or you know, there's no clash. They can kiss my ass on that, because doesn't matter if I get my eyes tested. What happens for the people that can't tell the difference are colorblind? You're gonna be saying that they should be getting tested as well?
I feel like when people do say that though, it's a pretty empty sort of like comment. Because it's only... Because whenever someone starts with a comment saying who cares, it's only just meaning that they don't care, if that makes any sense. So
Yeah,
I probably
that's
wouldn't put
it.
too much, I wouldn't... Because like every time someone says that, it's like, oh, well, who cares about that? It's like, well, no, there's a fair few people that do. Just because you don't doesn't mean everyone else does. But
Did you say the Giants currencies they wore?
The Giants what?
You know the charcoal black currencies that they wore against Geelong?
Not specifically, no, but yeah.
Okay, so when Giants play Sydney, right, the clash was Giants home Guernsey compared to Sydney's clash Guernsey. That caused an issue. So what they did was Sydney wear their home Guernsey and Giants wear a charcoal black Guernsey with black shorts to avoid any clash, which I like. But one thing they wore against Geelong is they wore that same Guernsey, or Geelong wore white and blue stripes with white shorts, and you can actually tell the difference.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, you wear your home and away Guernsey with white shorts. Unless if you wear a clash Guernsey, at least you can tell the difference. Even against Fremantle, I think they need to wear a different Guernsey. Because their white one, so it does clash. Even their wore green Guernsey or something would be better. Like, I've noticed when teams wear white Guernsey, like clash Guernseys, you can tell the difference of the clash. Because we wore remember that black and white brace stripe Guernsey we wore against North Melbourne, 2011? Should wear something like that. Because Eddie hated us to change our Guernsey. Oh, he was against it.
Well, that's the thing. Do you think if we have a new president, and do you think he'll care more about the jumper clash in terms of what Eddie would?
I think he would make it like if there was a clear clash, then wear it.
Yeah.
Then we need to change. I don't think he would have been
Like completely vocal about it, like, and then take it to the media and shit like that.
Yeah, since then, I'll be hoping like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter if we're not black and white stripes. Because we all know they're gonna ask Eddie anyway what he thinks.
Yeah.
And if Eddie says, oh, I'll come back there as president and make sure we don't change the Guernseys, and people vote for him in, that would piss me off.
I don't know what I'd do if he comes back in any form, even if it's like on the board. Because, like, I don't know, I'd imagine at this point he's probably burnt so many bridges. Like, it's, and I mean, not saying that I'm anybody or somebody or things like that, but to me personally, I don't want to ever see his face. Like, it's getting to the point where, like, if I ever see him on, like, you know, Millionaire Hot Seat or whatever the show was called, or, you know, I'd rather turn off the TV and, like, just do something else. Because I feel like if that is to happen now, I think I probably would do that. Like, I genuinely don't want anything to do with him.
Oh, 100%. If he's on for classified and they ask him a question, like, you want him to answer it.
I mean, he's
But
going
you
to have
just
his
hope
opinion regardless, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, like, they're not gonna not ask him.
Yeah.
I think if they would say, look, would you care when we don't wear black and white stripe Guernseys for one game, or they have like one or two and have like mainly darker Guernsey, you hope that he doesn't give a shit. Like, it's like, oh yeah, you know, at least some ways it's still black and white regardless.
I will also just to clarify the message with Graz as well too. I think you mean Gary Ablett Jr. Because if Walsh was to play like Gary Ablett Senior, that's a completely talking about that. Sorry about that, guys. I'll see if I'll be back in a second.
If you like and you know, clap your hands. I can actually hear me. Yeah. Fuck Carlton, you useless cunts.
Oh.
Carlton can suck my dick. Yeah, fair enough, guys. I'm surprised you didn't hear me what I said.
Alright, I'm back.
Sweet.
Yeah, apologies for that, guys. Alright, is there any other comments to be had?
I
or-
said true. But it involves
Where else?
swearing.
Oh, you do actually mean senior. Well, I don't think. Are we talking about the same player then? Because Sam Walsh doesn't
Gary
play
was
right.
senior. Probably would have played against Fremantle, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Walsh has ever played like Gary Ablett Senior. Unless if you mean that he kicked a whole bunch of goals, because that's what Gary Ablett Senior did. But, yeah.
Here we go, mate. Mason Cox will be at Collingwood next year.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just a saying that he just plays
The
very good
club
against
wants to
Fremantle.
keep him after losing backup ruckman Max Lynch to Hawthorn.
What was that?
The club want to keep him after losing backup ruckman Max Lynch to Hawthorn.
But they can't keep him now because he's been traded, so.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Hawthorn aren't going to want him back. Hawthorn aren't going to want to keep him back. Yeah, Cox is. The fact that we're going to have Cox there. I don't know if we're having a shot. Maybe getting to 50. Yeah, so having Cox in the team will be good just for that insurance if Grundy or Cameron goes down. I do know that Fly has said that he definitely wants Cox to have a bit more of a ruckman's game, so to develop his ruck craft. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does that. Oh, Darcy was going to have a shot on goal. Oh, that's a goal. And yeah, so hopefully Cox can do that, because if he does that, it just makes us a little bit more versatile than we were before.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So obviously Cox is going to play VFL round 1, unless if he has some amazing form. So, do you see him starting as a ruckman in the VFL, or do you still see him as that forward, but he'll rotate with whoever's in the ruck?
Forward than ruck, I would say, with Cox.
There's a part to me that thinks that he's going to be a ruckman though, because I think Fly's been pretty adamant that he wants him to be he wants him to, at the very least, he wants him to develop his ruckman craft. So to do that, I wouldn't be surprised if he just throws him in the deep end and just puts him in the VFL and says, "Here you go, mate. You're playing in the ruck. Enjoy." Obviously, he'll have training prior to that. He'll have a pre-season under his belt, but I feel like that's going to be what's going to happen.
Oh, excuse me. I got set up today.
Yeah.
One of the HR people, right, said to my team leader, "Oh, I want to become a team leader." So she gave me a chance to run a small group, with 3 people, 2 other people plus myself.
Yep.
But today I did part of my line was I had to go and get products for people, and I can direct them on where they are and all that sort of stuff. So I did really well when it came to doing something like that. And I said to HR as well, I said, because, I might have to, because she asked if it's, you stress? I go, no, not really. And I said to her in a joking way, I might have to, take 2 antidepressant tablets. And she goes, "Oh, why is that?" I was like, "Well, because of the people I work with as well, that can, that causes a lot more stress." And she goes, "Yeah, fair enough." Lockdown doesn't help. It's not like I can go to the gym after work and go, think fuck, today was over. I had a shit day, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, I used my manners. I said please and thank you. I didn't have to yell at all. And I said to them, "Look, guys, we can't afford to have the mistakes and that." So, yeah, it was actually pretty good, because I asked them if they were low functioning people with disability as well. And she doesn't see like that. Well, I do, because for me, if I were to get that opportunity again, or even become a 13 leader, you want to work with good people. You don't want to be working with people that are going to cause problems, or you try telling them more than twice, 3 times that, to do something, they refuse to do it. That's when you start to get frustrated in a way. So that's how I see it anyway. So I got that opportunity today at work. I had to change my inserts because my left foot was killing me today. Because staying up all day as well, and I got compliments that's great delegation, all that. and I wasn't like relying on everybody else. I was actually helping out. Made a comment to a couple people at work as they were, bet you one person would get jealous that he didn't get that, that they didn't get that opportunity and I did. So it's like way. So it's just like that's comments in between ourselves. So at least I got that up my sleeve. The fact is that I got thrown into the deep water in a way that I wasn't expecting it. Like, if you're gonna throw me under a bus and make comments I didn't actually say it, and able to, and it's all problem solving as well. So yeah, you can, you know how to do problem solving, you can do it. Because I don't like, one thing with me as well, like, if I make a decision, if it's wrong, it's like, sorry. Like, whatever what system we've got, happy to have. And when it's, if we change like that and, go and ask that HR, it's okay, we can do that. And she goes, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, you can actually see the difference. You can actually go, okay, well, it makes it easier in a way.
Yep.
Because one of them involves 10, so you don't have to really, having to keep taking them out and filling the crate. You can actually put them in boxes as well. So, yeah, I got the opportunity. Wouldn't be surprising if I became like a 13 leader in my group. And just talking to my team leader today and said, they've got potential and all that sort of stuff. So I do appreciate that. But there are going to be times where I do get frustrated, and I think as well, like, you gotta, you are going to have your moments. I'm just a little bit worried that it's going to cause more mental health issues for me. I don't want to have too much stress over it, and then I put that pressure onto myself. But other than that, like, having a small group like that, and I can take responsibility because I say, oh, sorry, my bad. That's my fault. I should have picked up on that, or should have done this when there was the wrong one. Or we need more of. But other than that, like, if people aren't sure, I'm saying, it's over there. I don't want to have to keep saying it. I would prefer if the people I work with can go, okay, it's over there. If I have trouble finding it, then you go and ask someone. But other than that, like, because I know I do ask if I'm not sure, but try looking for it, so, oh, okay, there it is. I finally found it. So the HR that was helping me out today, she made it a lot more neater for me, because she asked me, do you prefer like as it is now, or do you want me to clean up? I said, well, if it's nice and neat and tidy, it's easier. We're not going backwards and forwards and having that big trouble as well. So no, I actually don't mind. I actually didn't mind it. Certainly I'm not going to be pissed off about it. If I have to be honest, I'll be honest enough and say, But if I have to deal with people that are going to try to be arrogant, not trying to, accept responsibility because they made a mistake, then sorry, I'm going to tell you. Simple as that.
Yep. Yeah, it's good, man. It's obviously the fact that you're willing to improve yourself is, obviously a credit to you. I do want to get on to Tom's question though about Big Brew. I mean, you are pretty much spot on there in terms of his expectations. I guess also as well, we probably aren't gonna know how good he is going to be until he does play. But yeah, no, I think we should at least be giving this kid about 2 years just to see how he goes. Because I know he's Sudanese. I don't know if he was from Sudanese his whole life, or he's been here in Australia and then.
I think they had to get him from Sudanese.
Yeah, that was what my guess was. Because I know there's a Sudanese kid in the draft at the moment that's going to be in the very high, or the top end of the first round. That's is it Mac Andrews or Andrew? Yeah, I think it's Mac Andrews. He's Sudanese, and he looks like he's going to be awesome. Like, whoever picks him up are going to be very lucky to have his services over the next 12 years, 12 to 15 years.
Do you have a question with Big Roo?
Yeah.
Do we play him in the VFL?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he
or
touches.
We give him a chance at AFL level.
No, it's because he's a project. So what you basically do with projects, he's sort of in the sense of how we're treating Liam McMahon at the moment. So he's a guy where, yes, we obviously want him to be as good as he can be, but I think we need to have a bit of expectations. Like our expectations need to be set a bit more accurately when it comes to guys like that. When they're called quote unquote project players, they're guys that will be ready but are not ready now. So, I can see someone like a Liam McMahon being maybe another Jeremy Cameron sort of type, like a key forward that's very mobile, but can also take a very strong contested mark. So he's got both, the key forward sort of attributes, but he's also got a few small forward attributes as well too. And I feel like that's what's happened to some of the guys at in the AFL at the moment, is getting a lot of key forwards that are very mobile, that aren't obviously small forwards, because obviously a small forward will do that job better. But they're not they can kind of dabble in it, if that makes any sense. So I feel like Liam's going to be in that sort of mold of a Jeremy Cameron, where he's obviously going to be a key forward and he's going to take big contested marks. But don't be surprised if you see him, on the run and kicking goals along the ground off the boundary, or chasing down and tackling, and a lot of small forward sort of elements. But yeah, and then with Big Roo as well too. I'd imagine he'd be quick, because we haven't obviously seen anything too much from him. I'd imagine he'd be quick. He's only 18, 19 from memory. I can see if I can look it up. I know he's 202. Yeah, 202 centimeters. Okay, it's saying he's 18. Because I believe I saw some highlights on YouTube of him playing some basketball. And even as a guy that's 202 centimeters, he had some handles on him too. So maybe you could have a bit of flexibility as well. So who knows? He's obviously not going to be a small forward, obviously, because a 202 centimeter player will not be a small forward. But yeah, 202 is a good height, and if he's got a little bit of flexibility, it's probably not he could probably turn out to be something right. So there's an article here from April 7th where we're exploring the prospect. Like, we have signed him, but it's just this article saying we're exploring the prospect of recruiting Senegalese basketball.
Also, guys, check
Says
out my
18.
video.
Yeah, so he was 18 in April. So the worst case scenario, he's 19. So he's going to take a little bit of time. Give him 3 years, and he'll be 22. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely. I reckon he could potentially be something, and then, I mean, even if you look at some of his photos, he's already physically pretty well built anyway, especially for an 18-year-old. So, I mean, who knows? Like, it could be like a watch this space. I'd imagine he'd have a bit of speed. Um, we can. I think right now we're developing him into a ruck. So, if we
Yeah.
can get him to have some decent tap work, and uh, um, what's the link for?
Oh, that's the Max Lynch one.
Oh, his highlights, is it?
No, that's about when him leaving the Collingwood to Hawthorn and what we got and what Hawthorn got as well. And I rated a trade period out of 10.
Okay. But yeah, no. So I think when it comes to yeah, I think it was still on. Yeah, I think when it comes to Big Roo, yeah, he's gonna take some time, but by God, he's gonna be worth it. And just when you have a, especially as well because he's 18. If you see some of his like physical body for an 18-year-old, like he seems like he's already big. So if you're gonna have height and size, that's a really good. So um, yeah. All right, we'll move on to the next one. I think I bet my personal best behind a score, which is good. But 206. If it's not, I'm now making it the highest one I've got. Should probably have some ends then. That the goalies in. But yeah, if there's any questions you guys have in the chat, have an answer. Yeah, it looks like Giants really are really keen into him. From all the reports that come in. Yeah, he's very much Giants are very much into him. So, um, but I think as well it could be a watch this space because Giants have pick 2, and do we know what the next pick is, Kev? Because
We'll try.
I feel like someone said with their second pick that they might try and trade up their second pick because pick 2 will be like too much for them, or it would be too much. Or
Oh,
like
for sure.
for Andrews to go pick 2 would be overs. So they were gonna look at getting to trade up whatever their second pick is and then go from there. I've muted my mic, I think, at the moment, but yeah.
Oh, if Dacus goes pick 2, we can still get him anyway. Correct?
Yeah, we'll get him regardless what pick he gets. It just depends on the points. But the notion is that he'll probably go pick 3 now. Right. So we'll go through self. I'm trying to see if there's anyone I'm missing. I don't. Like, I think we're good. I'll start the next. Alright, let's go. Alright, we got Collingwood Fremantle. I wonder if Grace is going to be in the chat. Because with the way I'm doing these, trying to get the higher scores, I don't think he's going to have a good time watching his team in this one. What was the score I had last game? 206?
Always.
So, yeah, Graz, if you're in the chat, looks like your team's about to lose by at least 200 points, so enjoy. Oh, another one. Oh, touched. I don't know why I didn't just take the set shot on that one. Oh, that burst.
I would not be surprised at all if they gave me team leader role in my group.
Yeah.
I would not be fucking surprised.
Thank you. Well, at least that would be a good thing.
Yeah, but my mental health, my stress levels at the moment, I don't know how I would cope.
You can
I can
always tell.
probably handle it, but it is a stressful job. Like, you got to take on all responsibility, which I don't mind doing.
Didn't Adelaide trade out their first pick?
Who?
Adelaide.
Think
So
so.
Dawson.
With Sydney operational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Sydney have that pick, unless if I'm wrong. Or actually no. I think they've got Melbourne's first. I think they used Melbourne's first round pick. So it was like a first round, but it wasn't. It wasn't like their official first round. Maybe that was what the was. Yeah, I think in terms of like how it's gonna go, I think North are just gonna straight up just get Horn Francis. Because I think last year, and I mean now looking at hindsight, I mean it's hard to see why. Who had last year's first pick? Adelaide, because Adelaide picked Ugle Hagen. And mind you,
And
like
this is
yeah, and then mind you, I don't want to be, tearing down a player before he's, because he's only just finished his first year, and key forwards do take time. But like, I don't know, like right now it's probably the popular opinion to say that Ugle Hagen hasn't stepped up to a number one pick standard, but key forwards take time and all that stuff, and I think. Not that I think he'll be a bad player by any stretch, but I think he might take a bit of time to get going. I just don't know why Adelaide went for him. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because who was pick 2? Do we know who pick 2 was?
Oh.
Like who? I guess who Adelaide actually got? Well, Thilthorpe, wasn't it? Was it Thilthorpe?
Yeah, Thilthorpe.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, well, Thilthorpe was... But then, like...
Pick 1 or pick 2, I think it was.
I think it was Thilthorpe. I could be wrong. But then again, like, if you actually looked at what he's done, and then what Ugle Hagen's done, Thilthorpe's had the way better career, so... Well, or should you say
That'll be
career?
a 5-10 year thing as well.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's probably better to say that he's had the better season out of the two, but
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But like, I don't know.
It's like Bulldogs are in that position too. They don't have to rush him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's.
Sure. Yeah, it's not like
if we were in that situation, it would be different.
He would have played round 1, easy.
Yeah.
But alright, the goalie's off injured. On the ball. I think this is enough. Not sure. Oh, it definitely is. Yeah, so I'm pretty confident North won't bid on Dacos just purely because I think Horn Francis, because I think the thing that Dacos has going for him is that he doesn't, and I mean in terms of our case, he only played a couple of games through the TAC Cup. He only played something like 4 or 5 games. Because Horn Francis played finals, because he played that final series, he's gonna have more hype towards him.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was gonna say. Like,
yeah.
he's played more games as well. That makes it a lot difficult. COVID affected year, South Australia happened once. Victoria happened more than once as well.
But in saying that though too, like, you know, they have regardless on where Dacos goes, like hell, even if he say tears an ACL, you know, say tomorrow, obviously touch wood he doesn't. But let's just say hypothetically he tears an ACL and then he's like a 4th round pick. Like, we know we're still gonna get so many good years out of him. Like, so regardless where he goes,
he's always so.
Yeah, like regardless where he goes, we will have a good player regardless. Because you know we're talking a kid that's going to be. I mean, touch wood, obviously, because I don't want to be jinxing the guy. But this guy's not playing anything short of 250 games. Like, there's just no way there's a world where he plays less than that, unless if touch wood he has like injuries or setbacks or.
Do have a question for you.
Yep.
Now this. Maybe 2 in this, and I definitely want the chat's opinion on this. Do you think there will be lockdowns in Melbourne next year? And number 2, do you think that unvaccinated players will not be allowed to train or play at all?
I feel for next season, because we're trying to gear up to not have any more lockdowns. So
yeah, that's a whole part of the plan.
My reaction to that is saying no. We've seen our last lockdown, but then there's a gut feel that there's going to be something that happens. You know, we're going to be in such a. There's like a part of me that's just like, no, we're going to have some scenario, something happen to where we're going to have another one. Even though there's been a lot of talk to say, no, this will, like, as long as everyone gets vaccinated, we won't have any more lockdowns. Because it's like, it sounds fantastic in theory, but it's just with the track record that we've had of late, with the people that have been running the state, I mean, no one in their right mind would be putting bets on this stuff in terms of, like, will we ever have another lockdown? Or, like, no one would be... Because you just don't know. And then, not only that do we not know, we're also, you know, we're basically... How do I put this? We're basically... slaves to the government's choices. It sounds so fucking weird, but like, you know, if Dan Andrews comes out and basically says that, alright, we're going to lock down next week. Well, no, so for example, if say we get out of lockdown and say somewhere in like November, and then say February comes around and he goes, nah, shit, sorry guys, we got to go back into lockdown. It's one of those things where, because we've had things like that happen, mentally I can never rule that out. But then we're trying everything we can possible to not give this person an excuse to lock us up. So,
I will say this as well. I think we're gonna have moments, even when we are fully vaxxed. I think you'll still have to get tested and quarantined for either 7 or 14 days if you're at an exposure site.
yeah, so, but I mean, at least that's, I guess in a sense, in terms of the lockdown, we probably may not see it. But yeah, there could just be maybe the 2 weeks quarantine is probably going to be more of a thing. So it could be, okay, you have it, just quarantine for 2 weeks and go from there. Because I think, and again, it's probably best for me to not comment because I'm no doctor or expert on these things, but when it comes to the vaccines themselves. They don't, and correct me if I'm wrong, Kev, but they don't stop you from getting COVID. They just
No, it
heighten
doesn't.
your
The only thing
chances
that
of survival if you get them. Or
if you do
yeah.
get it, it'll only be small, mild symptoms. They won't be like you're in hospital, unless if you get it really bad due to your medical condition. Then you won't get it. Then at least they know that once if you're being vaccinated, they can protect you at the hospital. So there's a hospital bed for you when it comes to that. But other than that, like, the whole point of being vaccinated is because they want the numbers up so they can ease lockdown restrictions so we can get back to normal, because our Premier has said we have to learn how to live with this virus. As long as they don't have case numbers and add up, because that's, to me, it's like, I don't care about that anymore. It's very depressing when I hear it. I just don't care. All I care about is the deaths, the hospitals like ICU, and the percentage of single vax and double vaccination rates. That's all I care about, because I want to get back to going to the gym for my mental health. I want to go back to going to the footy as well. You just can't keep doing this. Other states will probably try and have lockdowns and all the rest, but I think if the federal government says, right, from now on, there won't be any more lockdowns, you will have to get used to how to live with this virus no matter what. Because let's be honest, right? This virus is here to stay, yeah? Correct me if I'm wrong. It's here forever.
Yeah.
It's just like the flu.
Yeah, because also as well, I as much as I'm happy to comment on it and things like that when people do want to know certain things, if we do know information, because it'll only just be from from other people and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's probably best to maybe not talk about it too much, but then we don't want to ignore it either. But just if people do have
saying this
questions.
to be nasty as well.
No,
like,
not that. It's just a sense of because people want to come here to watch live streams, and they want to watch the AFL content. Maybe a bit of footy, a bit of cricket.
Oh, 100%. 100% agree with that.
A bit of basketball, but yeah. So I don't want to ignore it, because if someone has that question, I'm happy to give my thoughts or opinion on it. Just to
that's what I wanted, your opinion on it, and see what you thought. Because I know with me, I hope there isn't, and I hope they go okay to those people, because I know it's already happened at my work, and you know that for a fact.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen again, where I'm gonna have to get tested and isolated. If there's more than one case that's been tested positive for COVID, then it will be shut down for 14 days or whatever it is, and we all have to be tested from that date onto a 13th day as well. So it's gonna be like that. I don't know if it's for the rest of our lives, but at least that way we can go, okay, we know this is here to stay, sort of type thing as well. So that's one thing I will say on the matter.
Yeah, no, all good. I just want to, because when it comes to this sort of stuff, I can understand where people come from both sides. Where you'll have some people that don't mind it, but then other people won't. So it's just a sort of a reassurance that we're not going to obviously harp on it too much. But for those that do want to know, we just want to quickly,
100%.
gloss over it, sort of thing. If there are a few, so because I feel like just flat out ignoring it. I feel like we can make some positive, at least in terms of responses back. I feel like we can at least do something in a positive way for our audience, even if it is just replying back, or even if it is just a vote of support of like, hey, may just like hang in there sort of thing, or but yeah, try not to make it like the whole stream though. No, like I'm not. It wasn't a thing that I was like telling you off or anything, but I guess that's where I just want to. That's where I just want to go forward with it. I guess because yeah, it can be like because everyone reads all the reports, all the stories, and if they don't, they already have prior in the last 18 months, so they're probably just tired of it at this point. So yeah, it's regardless of what stance you take, yeah, I understand it all.
Oh, yeah, 100%. No, it's like, yeah, like, I'm not afraid to tell people that I'm struggling. Like, you can't ignore that. You gotta at least be open enough to tell your family and friends and tell the people that means the world to you. And you go, hey, I'm struggling with this. And it's like, well, you haven't even tried. At least you're aware that they can be there for you and that sort of stuff as well. So, it's like the first time I ever said it was yesterday in my stream. It's just like, wow, like, I don't put that stuff up on Facebook that I'm struggling with it. But at least that way, like, if people know that, oh, okay, being feeling down like this, like, good on you for having to say on that. Because you will get the people that go, oh, it's an excuse or type things. Like, nah, like, it's actually real. Like, it's, not being able to go out anywhere is depressing at the point.
Yep.
Have you seen the video of Josh Thomas yet?
Which is that? Where
The
he
Josh Thomas highlights?
Yeah. Yeah, I was saying
Oh,
that.
I like it. Even Brain Style. That was good where he sort of like Rippy Skirnsey against Fremantle last year. Like, I like that. So,
Yeah. No, I was hoping I was going to be right on that prediction in terms of him turning it around, but I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, obviously he's the bridges. Christ, we're on speed. That'd be great. The bridges, I think, are probably just far too burnt at this point. And I think just with his attitude, they're probably just thinking it's going to be a hell of a lot better that they just get a new kid in to just do his job and develop that kid.
yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, it sucks, but like, I understand.
Oh, so do I. Like, it's a business. It's a ruthless business.
But no, so like, when it comes to like Sire, it's just that to me, I thought it would have been worth the gamble, but then again, I'm not inside the four walls. I don't know how he probably is towards other yeah, there's probably some things going on at the moment, attitude-wise, we weren't fully aware of. So I think that's probably where it needs to be put down to.
Are you glad in a way that you don't know what goes on behind the four walls, or do you really want to know?
Nah, I to an extent, like just to get context with everything, so that we know what's actually going on. But no, I'm happy to keep secrets. Like the only time I'll probably want to know something is if if player goes off the deep end, I want to know all right, is this caused by the player? Is this caused by the club? Like you want to know what's going on. But except for that,
Yeah.
I'm not really um yeah, not really interested in sort of knowing that much, especially if it's just yeah. But then again, I feel like if we get those stories anyway, especially if it's coming from the club, a lot more often than not, it'll always have the club side and the club it'll have the club being favoured in the comment anyway, or the statement that they would make. So
Yeah.
the true story won't always be 100%, if that makes any sense.
This, I guess, as well. Like you're always gonna have sources inside clubs, no matter what. You're not gonna stop the whole leaking part. If that makes sense.
Yeah. But no, I think it probably just came down to they had a choice, and it's like, do we start new or do we keep this kid and hope he does alright? And obviously, with whatever he's done at the club, obviously it's made them to just want a fresh start and to just restart someone all new again and for them to go again. So with someone different. So yeah, as I said, we're not gonna. It's hard to know and to talk about these guys as if it's like on a personal level because we just don't know them on a personal level.
I actually have chatted to a few players after training, and they seem like the nicest people you can ever meet. Really are. And that's just my personal opinion as well. Like, for some people, it might be different as well. I'm just gonna go to the lawyer. I'll be back.
Yeah, Tom, I feel like people will get another chance. I wouldn't rule us out getting him through the rookie draft either. I haven't said anything, so there's no promises in place. So that either means that if there is nothing, they will go to him, or if he doesn't get picked up, we'll just completely ignore him anyway. So I guess it just depends on what your offers are when it comes to the rookie draft. But yeah, it's like when you got a guy that's 191 centimeters, can basically play as that inside mid. He's got the body ready for it. Um, he's just got that attitude problem. Like that's his only issue. And I don't know. Maybe it's because I think that's just what it is at this point. Is that he's obviously gone so far in the deep end in whatever he's done to where the club just probably just doesn't think it's fixable at this point. And then the other problem that you have is that if he's not fixable, like if you think he's fixable and then you think you fixed him, what then happens if they have another or say the same scenario happens say in 3 years time? You could have had another kid in like his place at that point. So I think they probably don't have him in his plans right now. But if they have say the last pick in the rookie draft and he's still available, I mean, is he the best option? Collingwood may not think so, but if he's like clear and above talent wise, maybe they might pick him up. But they would, I'd imagine they wouldn't be picking him up from a from an attitude point of view, that's for sure. Because that's been one of his downfalls from what it has seemed from the outside. There we go, Josh Day. But no, I was hoping that he can have a good see. Obviously not, but yeah. I mean, I'd be happy for him if he finds another club and they can unlock whatever he has. Because I do feel like he can definitely provide a club with some very because yeah, if someone needs a contested inside ball, he does that to a T. So um, I'm missing. Oh yeah, Lipinski. I think Lipinski's. Right, so if I got him straight in, I think that's better. I don't think I missed. No, at all. Thanks everybody tuning into the stream. Really appreciate all the support. Um, yeah, we'll get stuck into obviously. I believe we're playing St Kilda, so we'll get stuck into that. Oh, here we go. Is that Lipinski? Oh, it's Lipinski there. He's. Can't put him on the wing. Okay, so he just must have sprinted from the wing all the way up to the pocket. Okay. Kid's got some speed, alright. AJ. What was that? It's a goal coming up. Oh, is it a move? Yes, it is. There we go. That Kruger? Yes, it is. If there's any questions you guys have in the chat, I'm more than happy to answer them. So yeah, feel free to put them in the chat if you need to. But yeah, if not, we'll just chill and play some AFL too. Punch. Over the top. Yeah, why not? It's a yellow kick. Yeah, there you go. starts at least.
I'm back. Pardon me.
Oh, it's kick and a half, that one. Lipinski to Kruger. God, isn't that going to be a matchup going forward? Because I reckon we're going to be seeing a lot of Lipinski to Kruger a lot next season.
Oh yeah, can't wait.
And center, Joey goes long to Kruger. Kruger would have a fair few goals this season in this AFL Evolution save, I reckon. I think we've just passed the highs, and I reckon he would easily have. God, he'd have about what, 150 goals, I reckon. He'd have to be, because he's been probably kicking like over 10 goals a game. Man, I can't wait for next season. You know that, Kev?
Yeah.
Oh, how good is next
was
season?
it?
Oh, I was just saying, how good is next season going to be?
Oh, mate. It's gonna be a lot different.
Oh, Kruger's got another one. Boys, Elliot's got a mark. And he's got it.
How long's the deal for Cox next season?
They haven't
So 1
signed him
year,
up
2
yet.
years.
I don't think they've signed him up yet. He's uncontracted right now. I'd imagine he'll probably have a contract in the next few weeks, if not maybe within a month. You'd think that Cox would want to like take a little bit of a pay cut. Do you think?
Oh, you hope so.
Like, because I don't know if this is like just me being a dick or anything, but like he's had years where he's been paid what, 600,000 a year. So like, is that do you think that that's like worthy services in terms of like what he's given? Like, I guess he's had moments where he's definitely been worth it, but as an overall season, I'm not too sure. Like, and then I guess as well, you can also say, well, you know, whenever we do play finals, he does stand up, and he always seems to be that X factor player that stands up. I just think as an overall season, I just don't know 600,000. I mean, maybe 2018 you could have justified 600,000, but all the other seasons, maybe. Was it? Because obviously this year you definitely 600. Like, was it 2019 where he had like an eye injury or something?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't play finals then, and then 2020 was when he had that monster against West Coast.
Oh, we played finals in 2019, but 2020 we played
Yeah, but I don't think Cox played,
finals.
did he?
No.
Wasn't Cox out for the year with like an eye injury or something?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. No, smashes the post. How are you going for time? Do you reckon you could probably go for another hour?
I think so.
I reckon I might go for one more hour, and that'll be 4 hours, and I think that might do me.
Yeah, because you started like 5:30, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was just after because I was trying to set everything up, and it took a little bit longer than I thought. But yeah, it was like a few minutes after 5:30. I do need to get the schedule in terms of when I'm going to stream though, because I just don't know when I'm going to.
Yeah, I know.
And I know once work fully starts back, like
Wherever you go live, you go live. I know you can do like up to 30 minutes, but I don't know how to do that. Not like. You know how you can go live in 30 minutes? Or when we can start in 30 minutes?
like schedule a stream or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how to do Premieres for about 30 minutes, but I don't know how to do the other one.
It's the same.
The
It's the same
PlayStation.
process, isn't it?
I'm not for sure. Because you're actually going live now. Like, I'm live on Twitch now. Like, I've been like an hour. But this stream will be on Destiny 2 as well. But I might... I don't know if I'll go live on YouTube or not.
Well, if you, I'm happy that.
If you don't keep going, you can keep going. I'll let you off.
Yeah, no, but I was just saying I was going to stop and I wanted to get to about 4 hours, so I've got another 55 minutes left. So after that, I'm not fast.
Okay. What's easy for you. If you're gonna stop after 4 hours, then I can always hop on for an hour or two or something, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, as I said, I'm looking at the video now and I've just gone past 3 hours. So I think 4 hours would be a nice duration. And then after that.
Yeah, because I'm the only one that's watching it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Let's put down.
Actually, in saying that, I might actually finish the stream after this game, because I do have, I don't want to be saying this too loud, but I do have, people over, so if you can hear them in the background, but, yeah, go on socialise with them. It is after this game, because, yeah, it's been over 3 hours, so, and 35 playback so far, so, yeah, that'll do, about 35 views.
Did you put it on Twitter?
Yes, I did, actually.
Okay. Now look, sometimes you gotta spend time with family as well. That's the whole point. Like, you
Well, it's
can't
hard
just...
to know when they're gonna turn up and stuff because like they just turn up whenever they want. So
That's fucking stupid, huh?
no, it's not that it's stupid. It's just that I can't prepare for it, so I don't know what's going on. So if I'm
Yeah, I'm the
streaming and they
same.
walk through the door as they were before, I don't know if you guys were able to hear them walk through the door.
No, I couldn't hear anything.
Okay, good. So then the sound, it was what do they call it? It's like a sound cancellation sort of software that I've got. So it can cancel out some background sound. It doesn't cancel out all of it, but it'll be like some.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I'm sure you guys heard the dog book. I mean, nothing's more better than that dog.
Pretty much. Yeah. Hey, if you really wanted to, man, if you want to just go after this game,
Yeah, I already said I was
that's
going
fine. Yeah.
because it'll give you more time to stream anyway too, so it'll work out for everyone, and it won't be like a graveyard shift for you as well too. Because that's probably the other thing as well. If you stream an hour later on too on YouTube, it'll basically be a graveyard shift at that point.
Even if I finish this game and then stream on YouTube afterwards, like, it's not gonna matter too much. Or even if I stream YouTube now, it's not gonna matter too much.
Well, there you go. I've got some people come back now, so yeah, I'll see how it goes. If we get 3 or 4 people in the chat by the end of the game, I'll continue. But if not, um, I'll let you take over. Because I can always pop into your stream anyway at any point too.
Yeah,
So
that's it.
so kind of kill 2 birds with one stone.
Yeah, because I was streaming on Twitch the whole time. I thought, no, I'll let you stream. Otherwise, it would just be taking views of each other. Pretty much. It's pointless. Unless if there is a bit of trouble, like, oh yeah, you know, you can make that decision on our channels and go, right, yeah, you can hide them as well.
Well, you can have both videos on. Just whichever gameplay you want to watch, you just make sure that's unmuted, and then you mute the other video, because both videos will have both of our voices. It's just a matter of yeah. So both videos will have our voices. It's just a matter of which gameplay you want to watch. But then again, we're both watching AFL Live gameplay, so as long as you've got both videos on, so you have like 2 tabs and watch both videos, and then have just one on mute, then you'll have then you
yes, I can
watch
always do iPad and my phone stream, so that way I've got both mine in the background. And if I have to, you know, check to see what's going on as well, I can do that. So it doesn't really bother me that much. Yeah, you got 3 people in the chat now.
Yeah, we had 3 for about a minute or so, but it's gone back down to 2 now.
Okay.
Imagine.
If you haven't,
Oh,
please
there you go. It's
subscribe
gone
to
back
the
up. It's gone back up. Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Hopefully good, Tom.
Yeah, it's always hard to know, especially at this point for me, because whenever it's the winter, I'm always pretty radio silent, except for maybe a few things here and there.
Yeah.
So, because I've been radio silent for the last 6 months, it'll be hard to know. I mean, I'm sure we'll go alright. I mean, cricket's in a pretty good place when it comes to the Australian team. It might be better to talk about the Big Bash, I guess, than anything else. Because I don't know. I'm probably. I don't know if this is like a hot take, but I reckon I'm probably more interested in the Big Bash than I am in the Ashes.
Do you think the Big Bash, right? Do you think with the Big Bash that there's going to be hubs, or you think it'll be like home ground advantages?
Nah, I think even last year, the cricket wasn't really affected that much anyway. We obviously had all the COVID rules and all that stuff, but all in all, we weren't really that affected. So I'd imagine this would be the same because everyone's going to be vaccinated. We'll probably have a slow start because I know, at least for my cricket, I know that we don't start till. I'm sure Tom will be able to help me out, but I think it's the middle of November. I'm back, or middle late November. So it's not so we probably miss out on the first third of the season maybe. We basically miss it. I think we miss out on about 6 weeks worth of cricket, maybe 8 weeks. So that's about 6 games maybe, because you got a couple of 2-day games in there.
Yeah, at least that. A massive shout out to Ultimate Greatness. Check him out on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch as well. He's got great content. I know he streams on YouTube a fair bit as well, but he makes some great content. And it's always good to have a discussion with him.
I don't know about you, Tom, but I always love going to the cricket when it's hot. Especially T20 Big Bashes, because if you get a night, if it's say 30, 34, 35, 36 degrees in the day, those are some of the best times to go to the Big Bash cricket, because it just puts you in such a low key and just lazy ass mood where you just sit down and you just watch the cricket. It's it just puts you in a state of mind where you just don't care, if that makes any sense, and it just makes you enjoy it, because you're just so hot and bothered. It's just I just don't care. All right, whatever. Okay, cool. Yep, 4, 6, yay. You're not really you're not really where with the footy where it's but then also if anything exciting happens, you're still up and about and it's good because you're okay, something exciting happens.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just puts you in such a good mood. And it's always the night games that do that. If you get a night game and there's a 30, 34 degree day, it goes down to about say 26. Oh, it's so good. Um,
21 views to Patrick Lipinski to the Pies.
That's good.
And And the Fever one I streamed last night, guess how many views it's got?
How many?
69.
I mean, I know someone that's gonna like that actually a hell of a lot because he's one of those types of people where he loves that number.
Oh, it's the dirty
Yeah, he's
version of it.
yeah, but like I mean, he's a kid and like he's. I shouldn't be saying too much because it does come under work, but it's a 17-year-old that does 17-year-old things. So when he hears 69, he has a bit of a giggle.
Ah, that's good. And 26 for the talking about Josh Rice and our coaches for 2022. So I'm happy with the views, guys. Like, you guys have been great. Like always, please share our stuff. Like, I know 4 days ago I had 69 views of NBA 2K20 and then 41 views 5 days off. Like 5 days ago as well, and 48. Again, wasn't working. Dan Baines back to the club. Like, it's good that you guys have been sharing it and me putting it out there on my social media as well. Like, it's really worth it.
I completely missed how many goals Kruger was on.
Is he right foot or left footer?
Lefty. What with Kruger?
Mm.
Yeah, he's a left foot. How many goals has he got? 9. There you go. I've got 3 minutes getting 10 goals. Oh, he's on. He's dropped it. I tried to handball over the top, but the handball wouldn't let me. He's got 10. Look around him. On the siren, on the run, he's kicked 10. Yeah, I've always been of the opinion. Oh, you know what I found out, Kev?
Oh, yeah?
You want to know what I found out?
What's
That
that?
I saw a video of Caleb Poulter being interviewed by what's it called? The footy show, the Sunday footy show. And he said, and I feel like he'll probably get it next year. I've just got a feeling he's just going to. He said that his favourite number is 22. Sorry, 24. 24 is
Wow.
available, and then
Give it
Lipinski, who was at Bulldogs, was 27. Is there something in that? I don't know why. Um, wait, are you able to hear me? Kev, are you able to hear me? Oh, has kicked the bucket again. Okay, I'm definitely. Come on. Are we back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep. Sorry, thing cut out again, so I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to stop the stream. So we'll finish up, and you can take over. Um, but and I'm just starting to get some people in there too. Oh god, that sucks.
Yeah, because
Yeah. Um, obviously, we're having a bit of technical difficulties at the moment, so we'll finish the stream off here. Because
5 people, wow.
otherwise, yeah, because unfortunately, otherwise, we're just gonna have to go back and forth with me unplugging, plugging in stuff. So, um, my capture card's starting to
Feel
cool
sorry
down
for you,
now.
man. I really do for that.
It's just like the second I get going, like I get like 5, 6 people watching me. Anyway, yeah, you can take over. Now I think Kev. So obviously,
Alright.
shout out to Kev. If you want to put your channel link, you can put it in the link in the chat. Yeah, sorry guys, but I'll have to obviously go for a little bit. I'll obviously come back and I'll be in Kev's stream. And we'll do some like co streaming together, but it'll just be on his channel only until I can at least get my capture card working to a decent standard. But yeah, if you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. If you wanna,
And I'm going to end my stream on here, so I'm going to start streaming on YouTube. So, for more content coming up, please
Yep.
check it out too.
Yeah. And yeah, if you want to subscribe for more content too, please do that because there definitely is a lot more content coming. Especially with AFL finishing up, there's definitely going to be a few, some coverage on things like cricket, the NBA basketball, and we'll probably get stuck into some video games, as well as some like potential movies and TV shows that are out as well too. So make sure to tune in for all of that stuff. And but yeah, I
Hi,
think
Bella.
I think it's probably best to end the stream here because yeah, I've had issues with this capture card for the last few days, so I know what time it is, and it's time to obviously finish the stream because it's just going to go back and forth with me unplugging and then plugging things back in. So yeah, again, do
I'll just put it
apologize.
in the chat for everyone,
Yep,
just so they can check it out.
yep. But yeah, so obviously, uh, I do apologize for all the people that are in the chat at the moment. But yeah, if you do like all the content that I have put out, I'm more than happy for you guys to subscribe. But yeah, I guess for now we'll finish here, and yeah, go check out Kev's stream, and yeah, without further
Appreciate you,
ado,
man.
no, all good. As I said, my capture card's about to, so gotta go put on my uh my explosion suit. So obviously that's a joke. But yeah, would like to thank everybody for watching, and I'll hope to see you all in another video and or stream. But for now, see you guys.